Alright, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today I'm going to look at some online tournament results here in our current format. We do have the Toronto Regional Championships coming up like next week, so I thought I would look at the results here in the format and just kind of see what decks are winning right now, what people are playing, what techs are they playing in our current format, just to kind of get a gauge at how the meta is going to look going into Toronto, which is of course just about to come up here, and we do have some other tournaments in this format too coming up, so I'm excited to look at all of that in today's video. If y'all are new to the second channel, why not subscribe down below? I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll leave a link to play.limitless in the description below if you want to go play in any online tournament for yourself. We have a few to look at here, and we'll start off with the Mega Redacted tournament. This one was a big one, and we did see Guardevoir win. I think a lot of people right now are just saying that Dengo is the best deck in the format. And this Guardevoir list did have a lot. It was playing Precious Trolley actually as the ace spec to set up instead of Prime Catcher, but it does also play a Mega Lopunny and a Cramorant and Premium Power Pro. So really just trying to tech for all of the different situations. You have the Lopunny, which is really, really good against the walls, and you have the Cramorant and the Premium Power Pro, which make a big difference in the mirror match specifically. The one thing with the deck, though, is it does rely on Trolley to set up, which a lot of people might be a little sussed out on. It also does play 3 copies of Pokegear in the deck too, but you do really want to get that turn 1 Arven. Deck plays 4 Arven, 1 Trolley, really just trying to get turn 1 Trolley as quick as possible to set up your board, and you're just big chilling at that point, especially when you do have the toolbox here of options. Like the Lopunny and the Cram just make a lot of sense right now, and just kind of having everything as an all-in-one does help a lot. It did win the tournament. It was able to beat Polnor in the finals. It was a Polnor list. It was pretty stock standard Polnor list, actually. I've seen some people experimenting with their Dragapult lists right now, playing Moltres and stuff in it, but this one was pretty stock standard, and sure Guardevoir can have a good day into that. We do see a Terrazard here in at the top 4. Now, Terrazard has been starting to innovate, and I have been seeing a lot more Wellspring recently. Now, is Wellspring actually good in the deck? Is it better than playing the normal Donzard build? I'm not sure, because you do have to kind of sacrifice a little bit more in your deck to play the Wellspring, but the Wellspring does give you a lot of power early game, where you kind of just have that early pressure with Torrential Pump, and then you kind of go into Charizard. This build, they get top 4. The one thing is, you're not playing any Pidgeotto, so it's going to be a bit more difficult versus Dragapult, but if you have the Wellspring, you're kind of already killing the Budew with Torrential Pump anyways, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So it does make sense maybe to have the Wellspring in the deck. It could be useful, and it might be worth trying out in Donzard for sure. I'm not sure on that yet, but Wellspring, it does seem to be pretty good within the Donzard deck overall. So, yeah. And we got a Pulsar in top 4. This is definitely a deck that I think is good right now. This is one that I'm considering playing in Toronto myself. It's a pretty standard Pulsar list. There is, of course, the Watchtowers in there to help in the Charizard matchup. I don't hate Watchtower. I think this deck actually has a good matchup against Charizard, because you're already playing a Budew Dragapult deck, which is already pretty good against Charizard, but having the Watchtower makes the Zard matchup even easier. You have Watchtower plus Unfair Stamp, so you can go Itchy Pollen into Stamp plus Watchtower, which is actually a pretty good combo against, like, Donzard specifically, which I think is neat. Because, like, against normal Pidgeot Charizard, you're already slowing them down quite a bit with Itchy Pollen, where a lot of the time they're not getting the Pidgeotto or Pidgeot out in time before you Phantom Dive. We have the Watchtower against Donzard. If they fan Rotom or Tropicos your Budew, you just go Stamp Watchtower, and then they just kind of brick into Oblivion, which makes sense. So definitely not a bad inclusion. And we got Guardy doing good. A lot of people actually have been kind of turned away from Guardy. I think I've been seeing a little bit less Gardevoir Jellicent right now, but we'll see how much Guardy did do well this week. And then we have more Guardevoir here. This one also playing the Lopunny and the Cram, and does play Prime Catcher, though, over Precious Trolley in that build. And then we have another Dengo, also on the Lopunny. I think everyone's on the Lopunny right now. We do see a one of Watchtower and Secret Box. This is the other way that I've been seeing people playing Dengo with the rocks. It's actually teching in Secret Box and Watchtower. So if you're going to play Watchtower, you do have to play Secret Box, because you are able to aggressively search Watchtower. You're basically just trying to slam this down turn 1 against the Donzard deck, and saying that you're not going to play the game while there is a stadium in play. You're just going to hope they don't sack Area 0. Now, is it actually a good idea? Is it worth playing this into the Charizard matchup? I think it is. Donzard is specifically one of Guardevoir's harder matchups, right? So having an answer, like a little bit of a soft tech card, makes sense. Watchtower is kind of sus, though, because obviously if they just bump the stadium, it's useless. This also means you are forced to play Secret Box over Prime Catcher, because Secret Box is a lot better when you have a one of Watchtower in your deck, right? But sometimes just slamming it down turn 1 secures you a win in the Dawnzard matchup. So it's worth trying out, in my opinion. But we finally see another Dragapult here. It's another pretty standard Poltnor list. There's no Hilda or anything. Just opting for research, actually. Just a heavy draw support. Never mind. Just all in on, like, the high draw support count. That was the top 8 here. Outside of it, there was another Goldengo. I just wanted to highlight. There was a Dengo eSearch Pro Lopunny deck with Moltres outside of the top 8. I've tried Goldengo with eSearch Pro in this format. It's just a lot worse than Dengo Rocks because, like, you don't have the board control that you do with the Rock version. And you also have an atrocious mirror match if you're not playing Chansey or Togekiss. I actually really liked Chansey Goldengo for a bit. Something I was trying out, but I just ultimately scrapped it. Then we have the Moji's Dojo tournament here where Dragapult won. It was just a pretty standard Poltner list with the double Hilda. Yeah, Poltner doing good. I mean, just feasting on all of the Charizard. We did see a Guardy here in second place, and it was a Turbo Guardy playing it with Drifloon and Researches. No Lily in the deck, so this is definitely a Turbo Guardy. Also playing Iron Bundle to help in the Guardy Jelly matchup, and has a Bundu in the deck over Frillish, which is actually a very interesting choice. And then there's also Watchtower, so also just trying to slam down that turn 1 Watchtower in the Dawnzard matchup. Does play the triple Arven, so you can definitely get away with getting that turn 1 Watchtower down when you have triple Arven in the deck. Like, Watchtower specifically is really good early game against Dawnzard. Against Pidgeot Charizard, if you can save this with an Iono, it's usually pretty good. It's a pretty overall, like, well-rounded Guardy list, I would say. And it was able to get second, sadly losing to Dragapult. We have a Crustle in top 4. It's a Crustle Thorns deck. So that's a deck we haven't seen in a while. Now, is Crustle Thorns any good? I don't know. Is it better than just playing it with Kangaskhan? Is it better than playing Crustle with Absol? I don't know, but I mean, the Iron Thorns does have some value right now. It does shut off some big decks. It does slow down Goldengo quite a bit, which is kind of cool. So maybe Thorns Crustle is the way to go if you're going to play Crustle right now, just because it can do so good against Dengo. Another Poltnor here. This one has a Dawn and some Hildas in it. And we got a Kangaskhan Bufalon deck here with the Crustle. So this is like the new build of Kanga that everyone's been using it. Instead of Cornerstone, I've been seeing a lot more Crustle in the Kang deck, because Crustle just helps a lot more in other matchups. It's also good in the mirror, because in the mirror, they're playing Cornerstone. You can attack the Cornerstone with the Crustle. So I don't know, is Crustle better than Cornerstone and Kang? I don't know. Cornerstone is a bit better into Goldengo than Crustle is. Everyone's playing Lopunny right now, which really hurts Crustle quite a bit. But the Cornerstone is a little bit more easier into the Dengo matchup. It's not as... I mean, it's still, like, bad if they have Lopunny regardless, but Cornerstone is technically better. You can still slap a Bravery Charm on it, and it can take a hit from Lopunny. But, yeah, Kang with the Crustle seems decent right now, and I definitely think it might be the wave. Then we got another Terrazard, or Dawnzard, I should say. This one's just the normal version without the Wellspring. Does not play the Pidgeotto, though, so not really respecting the item lock as much. But I guess we're going to see more Turbo Guardy. Then they're not playing as many Frillish. Maybe it's worth playing. And we got another Poltnor with a couple Dawn in there, in the Hilda. So, I don't know, is Dawn starting to become a standard now in Poltnor? It might be. And then finally, last stack in top 8 is another Goldengo with the Mega Lopunny and the Premium Power Pro. No Cram, though, in that one. And we can move on to the next Mouji Dojo tournament. There's 2 of them, and this one was won by Turbo Guardy once again. Or not even really Turbo Guardy. I guess it is Turbo Guardy because there is our research in there. But it's like Jellyless Guardevoir. Still plays Frillish, and it plays Screamtail. The big and new addition in the Guardy list I've been seeing is actually Luxurious Cape. So I'm seeing a lot more now. Lux Cape is pretty good with Screamtail and Frillish against Goldengo. If they don't have Lopunny, you can cape the Frillish, which is really difficult for them to KO, and then you can also cape Screamtail to take gigantic knockouts out of nowhere with Roaring Scream. So Cape is actually looking pretty, or Lux Cape is looking pretty scary now in Guardevoir. And this might actually be pretty common in Toronto. As somebody who kind of fears Guardevoir right now, there's a lot of Guardy in my city in Toronto, so it's like pretty common. Now, here's where things get interesting. Festival Lead has started to make a name for itself as a one-price deck. I mean, this deck has been doing good in giant tournaments. I did a video on the deck on the main channel recently. Want to see some gameplay of the deck, but yeah, Festival Lead has been starting to do well, which is kind of crazy to see. And the thing with the deck is that it's all about using the package of Thwackey with the Sea King. Plays Dipplin, not as high count as Dipplin. Dipplin is not the main attacker; it's more like the Sea King, but does play Mega Lopunny too, and has the Max Belt and the Black Belt, so it's got a lot of damage behind it, especially with Lopunny. Specifically, you can do a lot of crazy plays with Gale Thrust. So yeah, the Sea King deck looks like a decent one-prizer deck, and it's actually been getting some good results right now. So this deck could be good. I don't know. Is it a meme? I don't know. Does it beat Dragapult? Maybe. But yeah, definitely a cool little deck here that's been getting good results in giant tournaments too, not just like mini tournaments, like big tournaments. We got a Lucario deck doing good. Look, this deck will be powerful once we do get rotation because Guardy will rotate, which will hurt psychic decks. Psychic decks might still exist. Like I'm sure we'll still get some psychic decks in the meta, but they're not going to be Guardy levels of broken. So I think Mega Lucario will be good when rotation comes. Right now, it's not a terrible deck. I don't even know if it beats Dengo though, to be honest either. Speaking of which, another Dengo playing low punny. So everyone's on low putty right now. This one also playing the Watchtower, but doesn't play it with Secret Box, which I don't think is optimal. I mean, it does have Cypher Maniac. I guess you can find the Watchtower with the Cypher Maniac in the deck. But another Dengo with the Watchtower and low punny. We'll have to see if anyone starts playing Watchtower in their Dengo lists going into Toronto. We got another Pultnor playing... Oh, it's got all the supporter cards. Brock, Dawn, and Hilda. All the setup supporters. We have a Mega Absol Kangaskhan deck here doing good with this Row 6 in the Eries and Watchtower. It's probably how I would play Absol Kang right now. Is I would probably try to play with some combination of like Eerie and Watchtower. The Watchtower is really good in Kangaskhan Absol. It does shut off your own Kangaskhan, but it's very important against Charizard, which is actually kind of a tricky matchup if the Charizard player is playing Dusknoir. That matchup is actually pretty difficult to beat, in my opinion. So the Watchtower actually does help quite a bit in this deck to help beat that matchup. And we got an Alakazam also doing good. This is like the other one-prizer deck in the meta. It's the Alakazam with the 1/1 Togekiss. Try to cheese extra prizes. Got the battle cages in there. Still playing Fan Rotom to find your Dunsparces too. Yeah, Alakazam, also a good one-prizer deck. It kind of beats everything that doesn't play Monkey Dory and Dusknoir, which is actually pretty good. So, I mean, it's good into the Mega decks, good into Goldengo and stuff. And then finally, we got a Guardy Jelly. Only with 2 Dark Energy and 2 Monkey Dory, so very low count of Monkey, but does play double Watchtower, so it's really trying to tech into Charizard. It's really trying to just beat Charizard with the double Watchtower. Hey, you can at least collateral Alakazam, which is already a good matchup, but why not make it even more winnable with the double Watchtower? Just like collateral that thing completely. And then we got the Mega Ditto Tournament, which was also won by Guardevoir, Jellicent. This one also plays Watchtower, so these Guardy Jellies are starting to throw that Watchtower in the deck. Watchtower is becoming increasingly common right now in lists. Is this something that I gotta fear going into Toronto? Like, if I'm playing Charizard to Toronto, which I'm considering playing Charizard Pidgeot to Toronto, and my opponent flips over a Ralts, am I expecting a Watchtower, bro? Like, am I gonna have to play 3 stadiums? Am I gonna have to play Shempao? Am I gonna have to play, like, heavier energy to build up Pidgeot? Bro, I don't know. That's spooky. And then we got another Festival lead doing good here in the tournament. See, this deck could be real. It's winning, man. I mean, it got the same result in the last tournament. It was a Gardevoir winning it and the Festival lead getting second. And then this tournament was also Festival lead getting second and Gardevoir winning it. I'd actually argue lead is a bit better into Guardy Jelly because you have Mega Lopunny, which is a bit more devastating for their deck, especially because you play like Black Belt, Max Belt and stuff. All right, next up we got some Dengos here. This one not playing Lopunny, so it didn't really tech for Cornerstone or anything, just straight consistently. Does play Academy at night. I don't hate that actually for Iono. Plays 3 Arvin, 2 Cypher, 3 Boss, 2. Also playing Counter Catcher though, but does also play Prime Catcher. Interesting. And we got another Dengo here with the Lopunny and the Cram. And the Trolley, so yeah, it's like the other build, Trolley, Cram. It's actually the 3 Pokegears, very similar actually to the other build we looked at. We have a Zoroark doing good. Zoroark definitely has fallen off quite a bit. I think that Zoroark is like not a bad deck, but it's, I mean, we just gotta wait for Zekrom, man. The deck really struggles against Goldango. Like, even if you play Toadscruels, it's like still a bad matchup in my opinion. Toadscruel doesn't do enough. Also, Charizard's popularity is a little sus. I know you are a deck that gets to play Iona Watchtower. It's not a bad idea against Charizard, but yeah, Zoroark seems pretty bad right now. It just definitely feels like it's not in a great spot. Now, I'm sure we'll still see like Liam pull up to Toronto if he's going playing Zoroark again. Maybe we'll see some innovation with Zoroark in Toronto to counter the meta, but it does feel like Zoroark is in a pretty bad spot right now. Also, Guardy having Diancie is not great, but I think Zoroark is like not a bad deck. Like, it's not unplayable. Like, it's still like a decent deck. It's definitely lower like tier deck right now in the meta, but it's definitely like still not terrible. And we are still seeing one do good in somewhat of a big online tournament. Same with Grim. Grim's another deck that, much like Zoroark, the deck actually is decent, but really suffers to like Goldango being popular. Also, I think Guardevoir is still not great now that they have Mega Diancie. I think Diancie is still pretty bad for Grimmsnarl. Because if they go like turn 2 Diancie, like what the heck are you supposed to do? Yeah, I think Grimmsnarl is still like a decent deck though. I still like Grim quite a bit. It's honestly a deck I would consider playing in Toronto if I wasn't playing Charizard, to be honest with you. I'd run it back, because it actually has a good matchup against Charizard. That's like the one thing I like about Grim. It's got a really good Charizard matchup, which is nice. And we got another Poltnor with the Hildas, the usual stuff. And then we got another Zoroark making top 8. So a couple Zoroarks made top 8. This one was playing Absol and Mega Gengar and Eerie and Janine and still had Watchtowers. This is a different take on Zoroark, I guess. So I'm not seeing as much Darmanitan Zoroark right now, which is interesting. I think Darm Zoroark is actually like a pretty solid way to play Zoroark right now. This one opted to play Absol and Mega Gengar, so that's cool to see. And that was the top 8 of that tournament. Next up, we got the Pumpgamey tournament, won by a really interesting Frostlass Monkey Dory deck. It was the Frostlass Monkey Dory Budu deck with a 1/1 copy of Mega Lopunny and an Eerie. So Lopunny and Frostlass is a very interesting inclusion. Is it good? It might be. It is a 3-prizer, which does kind of hurt this deck's like gimmick of being a 1-prizer deck, but it does have a lot of raw damage. It helps in a lot of situations. And yeah, I mean, the deck seems decent. It's got the Devo, the Eerie in there. I'm sure it does a lot of work against Goldango. I mean, against Dango, you just sit there and Budu them to death and Eerie them. You can maybe go into like Lopunny and like sweep them, I guess, which is an interesting concept. It did win the tournament. It managed to beat Dragapult Dusknoir in the finals with a Kieran. Polnar the Kieran's interesting. I guess it's like good with the Blood Moon to move it. Also playing a Watchtower in the deck for the Charizard matchup. We got another Polnar in top 4. Playing Petrol. This one also playing a different supporter, having one of Petrol, which actually is, Petrol's not bad. Searching for a Jamming Tower is actually kind of cool. And a Raging Bolt made top 4. Okay, much like Zoroark and Grimmsnarl, it's another deck that exists in the format. I mean, Raging Bolt's actually not terrible. It does have a better matchup in a Dango than most decks, in my opinion. And it's a Raging Bolt list with a Cornerstone and Sandy Shocks and Judge, 3 Sada, 4 Crispin. Interesting build, but yeah, Raging Bolt isn't like that bad of a deck right now. It's like decent. Now, the Dons are doing good. This one not playing Pidgeotto, but does have 4 Don. 1 Iono, no Lily or anything. Just a high-powered Donzard. It's only playing 1 Charmeleon, too. So really all in on the rare candy. Another Dango here with the Lopunny Cram package and the Prime Catcher, and also playing Lana's Aid in there, too. Then we have another Pulsar doing good with Watchtower. And also playing Hilda as a 1-up. I don't hate Hilda, actually, in Pulsar. Does also play Unfair Stamp as the Spec 2. Yeah, not a bad list. I like Pulsar. Like I said, definitely a deck I am considering playing in Toronto myself. The Watchtower is also pretty decent in there, too. Helps a lot. And then finally, we got another Grim in top 8. Pretty straightforward Grim list. Actually, a 3-line deck here on Limitless. Pretty heavy kind of Frostlass. A 3-3 line of Frostlass. So really trying to tech for that Dango matchup with the 3-3 Frostlass. Plays Budu, plays Tassu in there too. 3 Spikemouth 2, and 3 Countercatcher. No boss, actually, I just realized. So really just trying to lean in on the Frostlass package there with how it's built. Got the Lucky Draw Tourney here. Won by Donzard. This one does have Pidgeotto, though. So was playing the Pidgeotto and did win the tournament. It was able to beat Guardy Jelly in the finals here. With the Watchtower. So even the Guardy Jelly was teched for the Donzard matchup. But Donzard still came out on top, even though there was a Watchtower in there. Maybe it was prized. Maybe. I don't know. We're seeing a lot of Watchtower in Guardy Jelly. And then we got another Donzard, but this one was playing the Wellspring in the deck instead of the straightforward build with the heavy ghosts and stuff. This one only plays a 1/1 ghost. So really just trying to use that Wellspring Ogerpon early on and then kind of clean up with Charizard. Is it better than normal Donzard? I don't know. Then we got another Festival lead. So just a lot of Festival lead. This one also playing the 1/1 line of Mega Lopunny in the deck, much like the other builds. So I don't know. This deck started to do good. I mean, we've been seeing this deck actually consistently having finals and top 4. And of course, the video that I made on the deck, this deck won that tournament. So who knows? Is this deck actually looking real? It might be. It's been doing really good. Better than a lot of other decks we've been seeing, which is kind of crazy. We got another Turbo Guardy here with the Research and the Lux Cape. Like I said, Lux Cape's been coming a lot more common within Guardy. But I guess they're only playing Lux Cape, but they're not playing Frillish or Guardy Jelly. We got another Frostlass deck with the Lopunny. So this is the second time we've actually seen this Mega Lopunny Frostlass deck. Interesting. This one still did decent in this tournament, too. This Lopunny doing really good right now in the meta. A lot of decks are playing Mega Lopunny. Even I'm playing it in my Charizard deck because it's just that good of a card. It's worth playing, in my opinion. Got another Raging Bolt here making top 8. No Owls, so it's just like a straight Turbo Bolt build. In fact, since it's not playing Owls, they opted to play a Watchtower in the deck to help against Charizard. Though there is a Squawk and a Bear. You're obviously not going to put Watchtower down before you Squawk and Seize. That's just silly. But yeah, cool. Turbo Bolt with no Owls. Definitely isn't bad. You're a lot more aggressive, and you have turn 1 Donk potential, which does make the deck a lot stronger, obviously, overall. And then finally, we got another Guardy here. There's another Turbo Guardy with the Drifloon and the Lux Cape in there for the Scream Tail and stuff. in that build. All right. Then finally, we got the Sunny's weekly tournament here, won by Polnor, or Polzard, I should. Polnor, not Polzard. Polnor with a Pokegear. Interesting deck conclusion. And speaking of Zard, I think it did beat a Charizard. Yeah, beat a Donzard in the finals. Beat the Wellspring Charizard deck in the finals. This one even played Pidgeotto. Maybe it's just not enough. I mean, Polt is just such a tough matchup if you can't set up. The Wellspring does help a little bit more, though, in that matchup, because you actually cripple their setup, which gives you time to maybe give yourself time to, like, build up a board and stuff in that matchup. But the Wellspring is starting to be more common now. And then we got another Dango with the low punny, the Team Evo doing good with the Secret Box in there. And then we got a Conkeldurr there in top 4. Just, I mean, a funny little one-prizer deck. Does have a really good Dango matchup. So that's one good thing about Conkeldurr. It beats Goldengo pretty easily. And then obviously, I actually don't think it's bad in the Charizard. I think the Charizard matchup is fairly winnable because you can one-shot them and you do a lot of damage. You just, obviously, Guardy's a tough matchup. Dragapult isn't great either. But it's just another funny one-price deck. It's like Alakazam, right? They all kind of serve the same purpose. We gotta have a Guardy playing a Mega Guardevoir and Hero's Cape and Triple Mystery Garden. So trying to be a little bit more faster because it does also play 3 Research. So it definitely is trying to be faster here. Very heavy counter Curlia too. A 4-3 line. I mean, you kind of have to play that if you're going to be playing the Mega Guardy in the deck too as an attacker. But if you can pull off Mega Gardevoir, you definitely can steal a lot of games. So it makes sense to play the Mega Guardy in the deck. And a couple more Poltnors here. One with Dawn and Hilda. We got another Poltnor also doing pretty good with a couple Hildas in there instead of Dawn. And then finally in the top 8, we do have a Flareon doing decent. Just another, like, forgotten about deck. I feel like Flareon and Terrabox are, like, fairly forgotten about right now. Just I don't really see as much of them online. I think people are just kind of, like, done with them. Though Flareon isn't, like, the worst deck right now. But is it worse than just Donzard? Because, like, it is a Pidgeot Noctowl deck with, well, this one also playing Dusknoir and Wellspring and stuff. So, I don't know. Is Flareon just better or worse than Donzard? I don't know. Flareon's still, like, not bad. The Dango matchup, I think, is still decent, which is a good thing for the deck. But I guess it gets collateral by all the Watchtower. Like, this deck, I mean, it does play 3 stadiums, which is a bit better. And Pidgeot, it's a bit better into, like, the Watchtower. But maybe it just gets collateral pretty badly by, like, Guardy playing Watchtower and stuff. But there you go. Those were some of this week's online tournaments. Some other takeaways. Dango just doing really good. A lot of mega low punny and, like, all kinds of decks. We're seeing low punny in not Guardevoir. I'm supposed to say Guardevoir. We're seeing it in Goldengo, seeing it Festival Lead, seen it in Frostlass. Speaking of which, Festival Lead starting to make a name for itself as a one-prizer deck. Like, I think it's kind of crazy that a bunch of Festival Lead lists are actually starting to do well in giant online tournaments. And then obviously Donzard are doing pretty good in online tourneys this week. We haven't seen as much Kanga. In these tournaments I looked at, we only saw one Kangaskhan Buffalon deck, which is kind of surprising. I thought Kangaskhan Buffalon was going to be a little bit more common in this week's online tournaments and in Toronto, but no, we didn't see as much Kangaskhan. So yeah, interesting takeaways. A lot more Watchtower too. I wanted to highlight that. A lot of decks right now are playing a 1 of Watchtower, just to try to beat Charizard a little bit more efficiently. So Watchtower's play rate has been going up. So who knows? Watchtower might be looking like a pretty good tech card for Toronto, considering there might be a lot of Charizard at that tournament. It's looking like that is the case. By the way, for me on today's video, looking at all the online tournament results here. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. Again, we're on the road 26K subs here on the channel, or 27K, something like that. And yeah, I'll leave a link to Limitless down below if you want to go play in any online tourney for yourself. Might do one more of these videos next week heading into Toronto. But yeah, that'll be for me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.